Today, I'm gonna highlight 10 fantastic single-player games that are totally worth your time and money. These are titles you definitely don't want to miss. So let's dive right into the first game. Far Cry 5 is an open-world game that really gives you freedom in how you want to take on its crazy world. Set in the fictional Hope County, Montana, you're up against a doomsday cult led by the eerie Joseph Seed and his family. What I love about this game is how it throws you into this massive playground of chaos, and you're left to figure out how to take down the cult however you want. Whether you're going in guns blazing or trying to sneak through enemy camps, the game gives you a lot of options. And let's be real, Far Cry games are all about causing mayhem, and Far Cry 5 nails that. You can hop into a truck, set off some explosives, and watch chaos unfold, or grab a buddy for co-op and double the insanity. What sets Far Cry 5 apart is how it feels grounded in its setting. The rural America vibe is a stark contrast from the exotic islands and mountains of previous games, and it makes the cult's control over the region feel even creepier. The characters, especially the Seed family, are memorable. Joseph Seed in particular is unsettling in a way that sticks with you. With tons of side activities, freedom in how you approach objectives, and a world that's constantly reacting to your actions, Far Cry 5 is a game you can easily sink hours into. If you're looking for a wild open-world shooter with a bit of a narrative edge, it's definitely worth the price. Outer Wilds is one of those games that hooks you in with pure curiosity. It's not about combat or leveling up, it's about exploring a solar system stuck in a 22-minute time loop. Every time the sun explodes, you're sent back to the beginning, but what you learned in the last loop sticks with you. The game never holds your hand, and that's where the magic lies. You piece together ancient mysteries by visiting planets, each with its own unique environment and puzzles. One of the coolest things is how every discovery feels like something you uncovered. There's no quest marker telling you what to do next. It's all about exploration and your own drive to understand why the solar system is trapped in this loop. Each planet you visit reveals a piece of the bigger puzzle, and the game keeps you on your toes by slowly unraveling its deeper, mind-bending story. If you love exploration and the feeling of real discovery in games, Outer Wilds is absolutely worth your money. It's a truly unique experience that rewards patience and curiosity, making every minute feel meaningful. Yakuza Games. The Yakuza series is an absolute gem, and if you haven't dived into it yet, you're seriously missing out. At first glance, it looks like your typical open-world crime drama with some beat-em-up action thrown in, but once you start playing, you quickly realize it's so much more than that. What makes this series worth your money is its ability to blend serious storytelling with completely off-the-wall side content, and somehow it all works. You play as Kazuma Kiryu for most of the series, a stoic former Yakuza who always gets pulled back into the criminal underworld. The main storyline in each game is packed with intense, emotional drama. Think betrayals, loyalty, and all the wild twists you'd expect from a high-stakes crime story. But where Yakuza really shines is in how it manages to balance that seriousness with some of the most absurd and hilarious side quests and minigames you'll ever come across. One minute you're throwing down in a brutal street brawl, and the next you're helping a guy reunite with his lost chicken or managing a hostess club. It sounds ridiculous, but that's the charm of Yakuza. It's never afraid to have fun, and it's always giving you something new to do. The cities in the games, particularly Kamurocho, are so full of life that even when you're not progressing the main story, you'll find yourself getting lost in karaoke, arcade games, or bizarre side quests. And let's talk about the combat. It's classic beat-em-up style, but with each new game, they've refined and added depth to the system. You can switch between fighting styles, use the environment as a weapon, or just go full street brawler mode. And if you jump into Yakuza Like a Dragon, they completely shake things up by turning it into a turn-based RPG, which somehow works just as well. What really makes the Yakuza series worth buying is the emotional depth behind all the chaos. The characters are memorable, the stories are gripping, and the games are filled with so much heart that even the weirdest moments feel genuine. If you're looking for a series that gives you a mix of intense drama, heartfelt stories, and pure ridiculous fun, Yakuza is 100% worth your time and money. Whether you start with Yakuza 0 or jump into one of the later titles, you're in for something special.
You're in it now. Fine. Out of my way!
Metro Exodus is one of those games that takes a different approach to the post-apocalyptic genre, and that's exactly why it's worth your money. The Metro series is known for its tight, claustrophobic tunnels, but Exodus opens things up in a way that feels refreshing without losing that tense survival feel. You play as Artyom, continuing his journey from the previous games, but this time you're leaving the Moscow Metro and exploring a vast, ruined landscape. What I love about Exodus is how it combines linear storytelling with semi-open world environments. Each area feels like its own mini sandbox, but instead of just throwing quests at you, the game makes you feel like you're truly surviving. Supplies are scarce, the environment is harsh, and you constantly feel like you're just scraping by. The atmosphere in Metro Exodus is top tier. Whether you're trekking through an abandoned village or sneaking past mutants in a dark radioactive wasteland, there's this constant sense of danger that keeps you on edge. The game is beautiful in a bleak way. The changing seasons, the landscapes, and even the weather add layers to the storytelling, and everything feels lived in and ruined in the best way possible. What makes Exodus stand out is how it still nails the survival aspect even with more open environments. You're crafting weapons, managing your resources, and making tough decisions about how to handle hostile situations. And the human enemies? They're not just mindless bandits. You'll encounter different factions, each with their own stories and motivations, which adds a nice layer of complexity. If you're into post-apocalyptic games that make you feel like you're really surviving the end of the world, Metro Exodus is absolutely worth your money. It's a blend of tense atmosphere, solid shooting mechanics, and a world that feels like it's constantly falling apart around you.
I'll fucking kill you all!
Hitman World of Assassination is like being handed a sandbox full of creative, chaotic potential and told, do whatever you want as long as you get the job done. What makes this game so special is how it combines the thrill of stealth gameplay with an insane level of freedom. You're Agent 47, a master assassin, and each level isn't just a mission, it's a puzzle where the possibilities feel endless. The World of Assassination trilogy, which this game bundles together, gives you access to all 3 Hitman games in one seamless experience. So right off the bat, you're getting a ton of content. But it's not just about the amount of content, it's about the depth. Each level is its own playground, and the fun comes from figuring out how you want to eliminate your targets. Want to go in guns blazing? Sure. Prefer to dress up as a chef and poison their meal? Go for it. Fancy taking them out with an exploding golf ball? Yeah, that's an option too. Every mission gives you countless ways to approach your objectives, and experimenting is half the fun. The game doesn't just reward creativity, it encourages it. You're not punished for trying something weird or different. In fact, the more creative or ridiculous you're playing, the more satisfying it feels when it works. And trust me, once you start replaying levels, trying to figure out new, cleaner, or just more hilarious ways to take out your targets, it becomes addicting. But what really sells Hitman is the level design. Each environment is meticulously crafted, from crowded city streets to luxurious mansions, and they're packed with detail. You'll find hidden paths, overhear conversations that give you clues, and stumble upon opportunities that make you go, oh, I can totally use this to my advantage. The AI isn't dumb either. They'll react to your actions, meaning you constantly have to adapt and think on your feet. What's great about the World of Assassination is that it doesn't just throw you into a level and say good luck. There are challenges, unlockable weapons, and suits that keep you coming back. And because the game is so well supported, there's always new content or limited time events that keep things fresh. If you're looking for a game that gives you total freedom in how you approach your missions, while also delivering a satisfying stealth experience, Hitman World of Assassination is an absolute steal. Horizon Zero Dawn is one of those games that immediately grabs you with its unique world and keeps you hooked with its fantastic gameplay. You play as Aloy, a hunter, living in a post-apocalyptic world where massive robotic creatures roam the landscape, and humanity is reverted to tribal societies. What makes this game stand out is how it combines a stunning open world with deep lore and engaging combat. The combat is a real highlight because it's not just about charging in and hacking away. Every robot you face is a puzzle in itself. You'll need to study their weaknesses, figure out what parts to target, and decide whether to go in stealthily or use traps and gadgets to take them down. There's nothing more satisfying than setting up a trap and watching a giant robotic thunderjaw fall right into it. And the bow and arrow combat is some of the best I've played in any game. It just feels right. The world itself is breathtaking. The juxtaposition of nature reclaiming cities and the presence of these high-tech machines makes it feel like no other game. You're constantly drawn to explore, not just because it's beautiful, but because the game is packed with secrets about how this world came to be. The story itself is a mix of personal growth for Aloy as she uncovers the mystery of her origins and a larger tale about the fall of the old world. By the time you uncover what really happened, it's genuinely surprising and emotional. What makes Horizon Zero Dawn worth your money is how well it balances all of its elements. The world building is top-notch, the combat is incredibly fun, and Aloy's journey is one that you'll actually care about. Plus, with the Frozen Wilds DLC adding even more to the story and gameplay, it's a package that gives you a lot of bang for your buck. If you're into open-world games with a strong narrative, deep combat mechanics, and a setting that's unlike anything else out there, Horizon Zero Dawn is absolutely worth every penny. Journey is one of those rare games that hits you in the heart without saying a word. It's a simple concept. You're a robed figure traveling through vast deserts and snowy mountains, heading toward a distant glowing mountaintop. But what makes Journey so special is how it makes you feel while playing. The visuals are stunning in their simplicity. The world is quiet, almost meditative, and the way the wind sweeps across the sand or snow makes the environment feel alive. The soundtrack, it's like a perfect companion to the game, calming when it needs to be, emotional when it matters most. What really sets Journey apart though is its multiplayer element. You can meet another player on the same path, but there's no chat, no usernames. You communicate with simple chimes, and the connection feels strangely personal. It's one of the few games that makes you care about a random stranger, even though you'll probably never know who they are. The game is short, but it's an emotional ride from start to finish. By the time you reach the top of that mountain, it leaves you with this sense of peace and reflection that few games manage to deliver. In short, Journey is a must-play experience. It's not about gameplay mechanics or objectives, it's about the feeling it leaves you with. And that alone makes it worth your time and money. Bioshock Infinite is one of those games that stays with you long after the credits roll. You play as Booker DeWitt, tasked with finding Elizabeth in the floating city of Columbia, but the real hook here isn't just the gunplay or the setting, it's the story. This game takes you on a wild ride through alternate realities, and by the end, it leaves you questioning everything. Columbia is beautifully twisted. On the surface, it's this bright utopian city floating in the clouds, but as you explore, you quickly realize it's full of dark secrets, racism, classism, and an undercurrent of revolution bubbling up. The way the game peels back the layers of Columbia's seemingly perfect world is one of its strongest points. Combat is fast-paced, with some unique twists thanks to Vigors, which are basically magical powers that lets you do things like shoot fire, or throw enemies into the air, or summon crows to attack. But honestly, what really keeps you engaged is the relationship between Booker and Elizabeth. She's not just some damsel in distress, she's a fully developed character with her own agency, and the bond you build with her throughout the game is powerful. Then there's the ending. Without giving anything away, it's one of the most mind-bending twists I've ever seen in a game. It's the kind of ending that makes you want to sit back and rethink everything you just played through. Bioshock Infinite is a blend of intense action, a gripping narrative, and a world that feels alive and dangerous. It's absolutely worth your time and money if you're looking for a game that delivers both on gameplay and a story that'll make your head spin. Mad Max is the kind of game that lets you live out your post-apocalyptic road warrior fantasies. You're in the wasteland, try and survive, and the game nails that gritty, desperate feeling. What really makes Mad Max stand out is the vehicular combat. Your car, the magnum opus, is as much a character as Max himself. You'll spend a ton of time upgrading it, outfitting it with spikes, flamethrowers, and ramming grills, and when you finally take on enemy convoys, the carnage is pure chaos, but in the best way. The world is vast, and while it's a barren wasteland, it's filled with scavenging opportunities, enemy outposts to take down, and crazy storms that feel like they're ripped straight from the Mad Max Fury Road movie. The combat on foot is solid too, with a brutal, weighty brawler system that feels satisfying when you're smashing through enemies. The story is straightforward, but that's fine because the game focuses more on the survival aspect. You're out there making tough choices, scavenging for every last scrap of ammo and fuel, and customizing your ride to stay one step ahead of the lunatics trying to kill you. If you love the Mad Max universe, or just want an open world game where you can raise hell on the roads, Mad Max is absolutely worth your money. It's got that perfect mix of vehicular destruction and brutal hand-to-hand combat that'll keep you hooked. Kingdom Come: Deliverance is a game that goes all in on historical accuracy, and that's what makes it stand out. Set in 15th century Bohemia, you're not some invincible hero or chosen one, you're just Henry, a blacksmith's son. And everything you do in this game feels earned because of how realistic it is. From the combat to the way you interact with the world, Kingdom Come takes its time, and it makes you work for every victory. The combat system is a big part of why this game is special. Sword fighting is tactical and slow. It's all about timing, positioning, and stamina. You can't just mash buttons and hope for the best. You need to think about your moves, block at the right time, and pick your moments to strike. It can be tough to master, but that's what makes it so rewarding when you finally get it. The world itself feels alive in a way that a lot of open-world games don't. The towns, forests, and castles are all meticulously detailed, and the game goes deep on realism, from the way you have to keep your armor in good condition to how people react to you based on your reputation or how you're dressed. Even the quests don't feel like standard fetch quests. You can solve problems in multiple ways, whether it's through diplomacy, stealth, or brute force. What makes Kingdom Come worth your money is that it's different. It doesn't try to be flashy or cater to everyone. It knows exactly what it is and sticks to it. If you're into history, realistic combat, and a game that challenges you at every turn, this one's absolutely worth picking up.
My humbug.
Let's fight.
You look pretty good. But I'm betting it was just luck.
We'll see.
Goodbye.